Your job as a business owner nowadays in today's marketing climate is to brand your company online in the eyes of what Google considers to be a brand, and to promote yourself online in the world of marketing. And the brand and the promotion and the work that you do, the fine work that you do online and digitally, gets translated by the search algorithm to put you up in search rankings.
Right.
That's the job. That's the organic search mapping to show up, and reviews. And it makes sense, but it's just too much for some people to bear.
Right. Well, what's interesting is I would have thought, if you'd asked me 10 years ago, I would have thought by this point
it was easier.
Business owners would be more savvy.
True.
And would actually understand what we're doing better.
Right.
But it's actually gotten worse.
Hey there, guys. It's Nolan and Jason here with Roofing Webmasters.
Howdy.
And today the title is We're Bringing SEO Back.
Boom.
So, we never...
You might be wondering, we didn't know it left.
We've always talked about SEO. We're a full digital marketing agency. We work on everything, but we do an awful lot of SEO work here. And
but that's because SEO is sort of the biggest chunk of digital marketing.
It's the biggest chunk, and it's the biggest, I guess, hurdle that people have to get over. It's the biggest thing that other people can't seem to do.
Right.
And I think the reason for the title, or I know the reason for the title is, it's gotten, we perform SEO extremely well, but it's almost become something that new agencies starting out, they won't even try.
Yeah, they just want to do PPC or social media marketing, or
which, even if it doesn't work the best for the
social fortresses.
So yeah, they do anything they can not to do SEO.
Right.
And then now the new thing is they bundle it. They bundle the SEO with the PPC, and they mainly do this because they can't do the SEO. They don't have this. They don't have the infrastructure, the resources, the knowledge to do it. And it's never gone anywhere, and we never stopped.
Right. SEO is a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
Not many people actually want to do all the work.
Jason, it's a lot easier to just sit there and take somebody's money and go, oh yeah, we're going to ball this up to this $5,000 package and take all your damn money.
And then go to Google and say this keyword, these hours, this position, click.
I had a guy, and it was for another podcast, but I'm gonna read part of this for this one. He emailed and said, I'm a construction company. How much do you charge? At this point, I'm only looking to pay for leads generated by an outside entity versus long-term process. And so what he means is he's given up entirely on SEO.
Okay.
He's worked with someone before, and he's not willing to do it anymore.
Right.
And it's not, listen, the problem with that is obvious. Like if I had a problem and I go, okay, if I was a client, this is essentially what they're saying. They're saying, yeah, I'm just not going to try anymore, because that's some bull, So I just want to buy a lead and really just operate in the shadows as a sorry fly-by-night forever, and never really get any structure or stability to my company. And I really don't understand all that SEO stuff. I'm going to make up a bunch of false narratives to make myself feel better. So I'll name some of those false narratives that this guy's made up.
Right.
I can't get up in ranking. Those guys are big. I'll never be like them. They must spend $10,000 a month to get up there, right?
Right.
These are all, listen, these are false narratives that someone else makes up, and things that I have heard over and over again.
Right.
I just can't do that. I don't care what they do. They're screwing everybody.
All those SEO companies say the same thing.
All SEO's evil. Google's evil.
That's always a good one.
Yeah.
I hate Google.
I hate Google.
We had a guy call us once and say, can you get me off of Google? And I'm like, that's kind of the opposite of our services.
Right.
I mean, you can shut your business down. That'll get you right off of Google.
There's a lot of other so-called SEO companies that'll get you right off of there.
Yeah, that's true.
So when people, as time has gone on, and we've done this for almost a decade, there's this sentiment that's grown in the last couple of years that people just don't feel like they can get on. They're more confused than they ever were.
Right.
There's more baggage and garbage and junk from false SEO companies.
Absolutely.
There's more false marketing agencies. There's more false marketing programs that are designed to befuddle and cloud and take your money. The combined one where they combine the PPC, and the sorry, it was an old name. It wasn't the one I thought.
Oh, you thought it was?
Yeah, my brain was like, what? Well, I was looking at the M upside down.
What again?
I had the M upside down. Anyway, yeah. So
Y'all don't know what we're talking about.
you don't. I'm sorry. It's too much to go into. But speaking of people misunderstanding the market,
Right. Absolutely.
So someone gets out there, and your job as a business owner nowadays in today's marketing climate is to brand your company online in the eyes of what Google considers to be a brand, and to promote yourself online in the world of marketing. And the brand and the promotion and the work that you do, the fine work that you do online and digitally, gets translated by the search algorithm to put you up in search rankings.
Right.
That's the job. That's the organic search mapping to show up, and reviews, and it makes sense, but it's just too much for some people to bear.
Right. Well, what's interesting is I would have thought, if you'd asked me 10 years ago, I would have thought by this point
it was easier.
Business owners would be more savvy.
True.
And would actually understand what we're doing better.
Right.
But it's actually gotten worse.
It's even gotten worse,
because
Jason.
There's so much disinformation out there, and there's hardly any way to sift it.
It's worse
Nobody's regulating any of this. That they call us and they think, and that's the worst one, is when they think they know something.
They think they know.
And they have like a bizarre, take on it, and it's like, That's and I mean, I've had conversations with new clients where I'm like, what you're saying is the literal opposite of the truth. If we do that, you will go out of business.
Yeah.
Anything from, I got to put up like 10 websites with different domains, and Google will never know.
Even a younger businessman typically doesn't understand it. So the people that grew up with digital, their reference point of digital might be mainly social media, which doesn't translate as well today for where a lead comes from.
Right.
Which is still primarily Google.
Right.
And so, and they won't have put it all together because it's just too confusing for them.
Yeah.
I do feel bad. I actually shot forward to my children, which are easy 10, 15 years out from, well, I don't know, nowadays in business, but they're 10 years out from business probably. But it's, to try to coordinate a full online effort for that. If they're going into service, I can see some stuff. Somebody could go open up other little genres of work, like an Etsy shop or a sale online through an Amazon store.
Yeah.
And they can work within that platform. But if you're a roofer and a home service provider, you've got to play on the Google platform, and that has gotten more complicated.
Yeah.
And when we say we're bringing SEO back, we never went anywhere. I'm just mainly saying we can still do it just as well, if not better.
Right. There was as of the day that we're recording this, there was a recent, it's early 2020, and there was a core update 2 weeks ago, week before last. And I'm watching chatter on SEO and marketing Twitter channels and stuff, and people are like, well, it affected this site, but not this one. We don't know what's going on. And then we're looking at the stuff we do, and everything's holding steady or rising.
We rose. This is the best we've ever been overall. Our properties across the board are high. Our clients, I don't remember, I hate to even say it, but I don't remember the last time a core update affected us negatively or our clients.
Right.
It's literally been years since that happened.
When we have a client call that is in any way unhappy, and it really doesn't happen all that often, it's usually or almost always because of the false narratives. It's like we had a client call recently that was quite unhappy. And by the way, they're still a client because they listened to us when we spoke to them about it. And they said, well, we don't get any of our calls from you. All our calls come from A, B, and C. Nothing comes from
making
you.
Up stuff.
This. Yeah. And I pulled up their analytics and Search Console, and I said, okay, here's the truth. And I went through all their traffic, and I said, how many calls did you say you get a week? And they said, I think it was 11.
They're all from,
And 10 were from our efforts on mapping. And one of them was like a direct or something like that. And I was like, so we're talking 90% of your business, 90 to 99% of your business is coming from us.
I don't know, we talked about this before. People false narrative stuff up for, I don't know what reason, ego, maybe?
I mean, I'll give them credit when I showed them the analytics, the reports, and the evidence.
Yeah.
I said that I hope this, I basically sent it to them and said, I hope this helps you make a wise decision. And I got an email back and said, okay, we're going to stick with you guys. So it was like, okay,
Well, I will give people this too. It's difficult when you get literally the number one marketed thing, telemarketed thing, is people selling you the marketing.
Right.
So you're getting 11 leads a week and your business survives entirely on that. But you get another, 13 calls on marketing.
Well, what's that about 90 days in with a new client? What's that phone call we so often happen with them when they first start showing up in search? The first
they're
thing
getting marketing
call
calls
us and say, well, people keep calling us and
trying to sell
us on this stuff. And said, yeah, that's because we've gotten you up in marketing.
So they're starting to
they're
trickle
looking
up.
at the people at the bottom of the first page or just on the second page because our effort just got started.
Right.
And if we got you to the bottom of the first page, they don't have to do much more work to get you to 5 spots higher.
I don't know if it's that as much as it's that they know that person is in play.
Yeah.
They know they're spending money.
Yeah.
So they're like, this person's spending money. You don't want to call somebody back on 10th page because they're not spending a dime.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so people have a lot of misinformation. They run up a bunch of false narratives. They get burned a few times and give up. I didn't call that guy back, by the way. What am I supposed to tell that guy? I didn't call the guy.
Well, I mean, he literally said, I don't want your services. I want some other service.
I don't want to participate in the market. I'm hoping that there's a better, lead source out there than the ones I'm already using.
Right.
I was about to say one, but you know what I mean. Like the ones that all you guys love to hate but use, he's dying to get out of it. And here's the irony of it that I said before. There's the leads that people call if they're looking for a lead, they come from either organic or pay-per-click.
Yeah, just somebody else's.
Just somebody else's, not yours, except that 75% of search is organic. And when somebody looks for you, they're looking at local, and it's by God right there on the screen, and you can have a chance to be up there.
Right.
In the top 3 maps, or the entire map section, and or organic with integrated reviews, which is what we help people with primarily at the company, along with some pay-per-click management.
Right. And you have a chance there, and we've said this many times before, you have there's 2 different ways that can go. You can buy that lead and then get one job.
Yeah.
Or you can have the opportunity to create and curate a loyal customer base.
By building a brand.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the largest marketing that's ever existed, you can participate in your roofing SEO or SEO for roofers, and show up in Google My Business, show up in mapping, integrate in reviews through multiple platforms, and show up in organic content on your page content, which also expands all the other sources like your mapping.
Right.
And people just don't do that. Like completely and utterly miss the mark. Like it has to be 98% of roofers miss the mark on this.
Yeah.
Maybe 95%. But literally that many of them miss it.
It's incredibly rare that we have a potential client in play that we look at their current effort and we're impressed.
So I had another guy, speaking of bringing SEO back, he called up, this was this morning, and he said, I'm looking to get, just started, I've had a couple. The other guy, had a guy that listened to me that was all, he was a Conklin guy.
Okay.
All commercial. I'll talk about him in a minute. The other guy was basically roofing / anything. His GC.
Gotcha.
And got a hold of us. He's like, I need to get my stuff optimized. I'm looking for SEO. And I know SEO is the word, and it still is the primary word, but it really is online marketing at this point.
Right.
But people take that word and really twist it into whatever they want to hear.
Right. Yeah.
And he said, I just got my site done, and it was a pretty little site with boxes and pictures that were, none of them were his. It's above average looking and with no content. And he said,
probably a nice template.
I need to get this, Yeah, it was a nice little template, but it was a little template and it had nothing.
Yeah.
It had nothing. And I said, look, and he had no GMB account or anything. And I went over the whole thing. And I said, we're $99 to start right now. The monthly fee was far less than $1,000 for him on what we were going to put him with, and then in month to month. And he's like, and he really didn't listen to any of that. And after I told him what we were going to do, because he's like, you have to redo the site, or I can't use this site. I said, no, we need a new one because that's a cheap template site. And if we work on that site, it won't work well. I said, you're brand new in business, and you can't even think about doing that.
I'm sorry that you threw money at this, and
so I can't use this at all. I said, no, you can keep it, but we're going to put up a new design and use the same URL. So
right.
We're going to have to use a new design because it's got over 100 points of schema code. We're going to add dozens of pages of content. We've got to set up your Google account. We have to do citations. We have to go in and do all kinds of little things, and we can't work with this product. And he did everything. I said, let me use an analogy for you, for lack of a better thing. It's like you called me, or I called you to do your service, and I told you to come install travertine, but I had a roll of a linoleum, and you just need to make it work. I said, that's about what you've asked for. So you've got your trash product, and you want me to make it perfect. And I said, I simply can't. I cannot.
Unfortunately, people still approach online marketing as this weird, box of Legos that they can stick together whichever pieces they want. And
they
need an integrated approach.
They approach it, though, more than that, because I talk to them all day long. They approach it like we can and will trick Google into thinking they're the one to show.
Right.
So they still think that SEO is the act of fooling Google.
Yeah.
And at one point in time, one could argue that the definition got messed up, and that the act of SEO was to fool
Lazy
Google.
stoner SEO.
And the guy, when I told him about the linoleum that he needed to make into travertine for my floor, kind of understood it. And I said, look, I've done this a long time. And your chance of buying and paying for the best service, which you somehow ran across by calling me, is low at this point in time in the conversation. Because you've never spent a dime besides your $1,800 on that site that's no good. And you've never tried for proper stuff. And you've asked me to do something that can't be done. And you completely misunderstand the marketplace. I said, but we'd love to be a service. I said, I want you to remember me when you go pick a cheap service that claims they can use your cheap website, that is not the fault of anybody but your own that it didn't go up in ranking and you chose a cheap service. Because you can actually call back here and get proper services done and move up in search rankings.
Right.
But you're not giving Google the opportunity to do that with what you did. And I said, it's extremely competitive in your field, and you can't deliver this trash to them.
Right.
So that's part of it is that you just can't. It is competitive, and so even though most companies don't do a good job, there's a lot trying somehow. So our job is to do as much quality work as we can. And when we've integrated stuff like, I guess we had another potential title to this, which we may use again some other time, but old school SEO versus new school SEO. Actually had somebody call me. This is interesting. Don't let me forget about that Conklin guy too.
Okay.
Had somebody call me off of someone in an adjacent town to them that they'd found a client that we used. They were very interested in righteous reviews. And I said, old school SEO is nice design, a little bit of content, occasional blog, and you're done.
Right.
That's old school SEO. Old school SEO was why the word SEO got messed up. Plus spam Google. That's been gone for years.
Right.
Then the newer old school SEO is get a better than average website, get more than average content.
Right.
Do actual decent blogs. Have somebody go in the GMB account. And look at that stuff every once in a while.
Right.
That's kind of the newer old school SEO. The new stuff is you better do all that stuff too.
Yeah.
And then you better add to your GMB account and integrate something like righteous reviews that allows you to check in at jobs with photos and captions and drop those content pieces on the actual city and service pages.
Right.
Now, with a new school SEO approach, bringing SEO back, you can take somebody. I was talking to a guy just now, who's just called back actually, that wants to do something, and he was in a town of 200,000 people, and we're talking about it, and I asked, how many jobs do you do? He said 200. I said, if you'll use righteous reviews and get a photo caption and check-in geocode, which literally you're going to have a little check-in on a map with a red pin drop called a geocode. You're going to have a photo next to it and a caption you put in a nice little box on every city, twice, on the city and service page, every time he does a job. So it's going to be 1,200 changes to his website per year. He was in Des Moines, Iowa area.
Wow.
Which I just looked up was 216,000 people population. I said, sir, and the reality is if you'll actually do this, your website will probably have more custom content changes with photos, checks, and captions than all roofers in the Des Moines metro area combined.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, that ends up being like 600 map pings.
Yeah.
When you count all of the various pages on the site.
It goes on the check-in page too.
Yeah.
So
it's like all these map pings and then all of this.
So it's possible
content.
people are doing some map pings, not to go into all this with everybody, but they are, when he talks about like poor quality after services, you said something earlier, I forgot, but that means that these plugins happen sloppy onto junk.
Right.
And so the map pings on the other roofer sites go to one gobbledygook page.
Right.
And his is going to change on every single city and service page because it's done better.
It's going to go on his locations pages, on his service pages, and on a check-in.
Let me rephrase it. He'll have more changes to his location pages and service pages than any roofer by tune of hundreds of percent.
Oh, absolutely.
In the Des Moines area.
Right.
So that's when we talk about it. If you don't know what we're talking about, go back and listen to one about righteous reviews and how that sort of SEO can turbocharge it. Now, the guy had called off of somebody in a different market around him, but ironically, that person wasn't using righteous reviews at all, although had 27 reviews since they'd come on with us and was doing pretty well.
Right.
But wasn't using the check-in process. I think they were using the old school desktop version of it to text and email the client.
Gotcha.
But
that's still our biggest hurdle, is getting people to do their check-ins and work with.
They're going to do it once they see this, and some of them will. What's going to end up happening is that the guys at the top that were like, I don't want to deal with anybody but third parties that are going to produce reviews. I'm not looking for the long-term process. I'm not willing to brand my company online. I gave up a while back.
Right.
More people are going to become like him. I guarantee you, because and I'll tell you something else that's happening. Guys our age, or even younger, even down to like 35 years old, they got in on SEO, old school SEO.
Yeah.
And they put up a website, did some decent content and blog, and they've got their fingers in their ears when it comes to check-ins.
Yeah.
And
I've done what I'm supposed to do.
I've done it. I'm done.
Like, I already know SEO.
I'm done. Yeah, and they're all going to stay up in ranking until just 3 or 4 people per market start hammering check-ins.
Right.
They're gonna stay up, and when that happens, and when they start up on that, I think they're going to be disillusioned and angry like this guy, not proactive like the young buck.
But believing that you know SEO is foolish, because SEO changes a minimum, major changes, 4 times a year.
For somebody to call me and claim that they don't want to change it, and immediately go defensive against the professional guru that they called, which would be me.
It's one of those things that it's
weird.
You want to say, why did you call me?
Right. So I would be the guru, the professional one, the most knowledgeable one that anybody in this market for roofing could get on the phone, bar none, would be when you call and talk to me.
Right.
Unless you're already a client, you talk to Jason. So he calls up under this premise to hear what we have,
Yeah.
Now, I could have understood if he said, I was really looking for, something else. Of course, we offer everything. But anyway, I'm trying to think of something we couldn't offer. But I was looking for this. I was looking for purple widgets, and y'all's are turquoise. I get it, man. You didn't want turquoise widgets.
If the call was a mistake.
But he called up, and he wanted to show up online. He wanted to show up organically, and he wanted to show up with Google. He called, and he types in roofing SEO. We're number 1 online. He looks through and loves everything. He calls and tells me what he's looking for. I tell him how we're going to do it, and he's like, whoa. Wait a minute. Wait just a minute. I have to change this one stupid little thing? You mean to tell me that I have to change this one thing? You're like, yeah.
Yes, you do have to change that.
We're going to change that, and it's going to be great.
But I spent X amount of money on
that. No. Wait, when my brain comes up with stuff, I'm so narrow-minded and closed-minded that I just don't change. So for that reason, we're just never going to move forward as a business at this point in time. So at this point in time, I'm going to shelve and hold and put the brakes on everything.
Right.
You know?
And he'll find an SEO company that will work on his current site.
Yeah, he will.
And it won't work, and then the narrative in his head will be SEO is BS.
Oh, I called the main guy. Oh, another guy wants that. Another guy. Oh, hey, finally, someone reasonable to work with. You know? And cheaper.
Reasonable defined as will just do what I tell
Yeah,
them.
low morals and principles without skill sets or integrity. Like, hey, great.
And you know what's funny is that thing when they've just gotten a site,
Yeah.
you can kind of have some sympathy because they put some money into that.
Yeah.
But what's funny is the attitude about it is the same regardless of how much money they put in.
It is the same.
And we've heard it from $500 to $30,000.
Yes.
And I paid good money for that is exactly the same attitude. The amount of money is irrelevant. It's all
my
pride.
hard-earned money went into that. It's like, okay, so that's fine. It's like, I understand.
We can make it look like that.
But anyway, so yeah, that guy wasn't going to change, wasn't going to do it. He's off to a very, very bad start on his basis for it. You know, he dug his heels in before he started the journey. Like already dug his heels in, did not change and not understand it. I guarantee you. And when I provided pause for exit of the conversation, he was ready to get off the phone. You know? I don't remember us sitting down for a callback or not, but yeah, he's ready to get off. But yeah, SEO hasn't gone anywhere. We're bringing it back because lately we've been actually going faster and getting sites up quicker and having greater results than we had. And
we're getting great results in a shorter time period.
We're not doing anything,
especially if clients will use Righteous Review.
Yeah, so we've been getting better throughout the years, and we've been great for years, but it seems like within the last year or so, Google has changed things that seem to go in favor of stuff that we're doing anyway.
Right.
And then we've been able to implement in the new school SEO stuff that seems to propel stuff faster.
Right.
So these check-ins and all that sort of stuff. We need to call some of those check-in guys, like the people out of Chattanooga and all that, and see how things are going. Kind of curious. But people that have gone up in ranking quickly as a result. Anyway, I don't know, man. I'm tired of talking about it. You got anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right. All right, that's all we got on it. If you guys ever have questions and want to maybe have us do services, we'll give you a quick overview within 2 or 3 minutes over the phone of what we do and pricing. And right now, we've always done this stuff on month-to-month with a negligible amount of money down, just as good faith.
Right.
And then a monthly fee, and hopefully keep you forever to pay for this great team of 30 people to work for you and help you up in search rankings. And of course, like I said, we're full digital marketing agency. We do everything else too.
Right.
Like pay-per-click management and other stuff. It is transparent, fairly done, not like the rest of the industry does nowadays.
Right.
That's it, man. We'll see you later.
Take it easy.
Take it easy, guys.